Attitude Supply ATD1 was a great backpack that I enjoyed a lot. There were a couple of flaws, but overall I loved that bag. It was a little bit bigger, so I'm really happy to see that Attitude Supply made a new version that is smaller and potentially maybe improved. Let's check out this first impression of the Attitude Supply ATD2. Okay, so this is the unboxing and first impressions of the new Attitude Supply backpack. Some of you who watched my video of the Attitude Supply ATD1 might remember that I really liked that bag. There were just a few things that I didn't like, but yeah, you can check out the review in the info tab above. And yeah, now let's take a look at this new bag. This is the Attitude Supply ATD2, and for those of you who don't know, this is a first impressions. Therefore, I did not inform myself about the bag because I basically want to simulate as if I would walk into a brick and mortar store and see an item for the very first time without informing myself about the features on the website or a manual or whatever. So yeah, this is why I don't know anything about this bag, and therefore is hopefully the most honest first impression that I can give you. Let's take a look at this bag. The material is amazing because this, as far as I can tell, and if my memory serves me correctly, is more or less the same as in the Attitude 1. However, I don't know if you can actually hear this. It is a little bit crinkly, so it might be a different material for the bag. Let me zoom in a little bit. So yeah, it is a little bit more crinkly, but overall it has a similar aesthetic to the ATD1. What is also similar are these looping points, which are great for bike light. I always attach the bike light to this or some form of reflectivity. So with all of these black bags, being on a motorcycle or on a bicycle, you want to be as visible as possible, and having a huge black thing on your bag doesn't help, obviously. So I love to have these kind of lashing points where you can attach a bike light or whatever. Then we have a grab handle at the bottom, which feels great, but as you can tell from how I'm speaking now, it feels kind of odd to have this at the bottom. I guess this is great maybe for U-lock, although that would be a little bit too much down, but maybe if you have this in the overhead compartment in an airplane, then this is great to just pull that bag out of the overhead compartment. But I'm not really sure. It does feel great though. Do I have... Yeah, we have the same grab handle at the top as well. It feels great. It has the right balance of size. So if it's too thin, it will dig into your hand when it's heavy. And if it's too padded or too big, it just gets into your way. And if it's in the overhead compartment, it might snag or catch onto something and make it more difficult to pull out of that space. So I feel like this is the right balance for a grab handle. Then we have compression straps, which have these G-hooks. As you can see on this one already, G-hooks are okay, but as long as there is no pull on them, in other words, if there's nothing in them or the bag isn't packed to the fullest capacity, there is not much pulling on G-hook, and therefore they will detach by themselves and don't stay in place. So I like that metal G-hooks have very good durability, but I don't feel like they are very practical in most situations. What I like is the way these strap-end organizers are keeping everything in place. So this is just some Velcro that's attached to the end of the strap end. So you can basically just roll this up and then just use the Velcro to basically attach these strap ends in place. That's pretty cool. Let's turn this around first before we go to inside. The shoulder straps, just like the top handle, have a right balance between not too thick and not too thin. If they're too thin, they will dig into your shoulders. If they're too thick, they get into your way and make the bag a little bit too bulky. So in my humble opinion, it's a good balance to have them a little bit wider so they don't dig into your shoulders, have some form of padding but not too much, and yeah, find a good balance point. And from first impressions, I feel like these have a good balance point, but they do feel very stiff and will probably need some time to wear in. I like this S-curve, and I assume that this will be very comfortable when fully loaded. You have a detachable sternum strap with a regular clip. I feel like this, because I'm just saying that because there is a V-buckle fitlock in the front. This would have been awesome if this would have been the same style of fitlock. We have some side grab handles, just like the top and the bottom one. So no matter how this is stored inside overhead compartment or somewhere in your car, you will always have a good grab handle on either side of the bag. The back panel is very well padded or sufficiently padded. There is a pass-through for rolling luggage, then a pass-through for the waist strap, which I assume you can just easily stow away in this part, just like so. But this is kind of weird. You see, you have the shoulder strap, then this little lumbar support where you should be able to store the waist belt. However, if you store the waist belt, then, which is detachable though, then it gets into your way of your shoulder strap. So if that is stowed away and there is a little bit movement in the shoulder strap, this waist belt will wiggle itself out of this slot, unless you're not supposed to store it in that slot. So I probably would have preferred if this attachment point for the waist belt would have been on this side, on the inside of the shoulder strap. So this is kind of weird. You know, with waist straps, I usually feel like with this kind of size, I never used them. So having something thin like this just to keep the bag in place is good, but I'm happy to see that there is the option to just detach the waist belt because I just never use it. There's a front compartment which can be opened sideways, which was already something that we have seen in the ATD1, so I'm happy to see that Attitude Supply did the same. And what I really like are these slots that keep everything distributed vertically, so nothing just slides to the bottom, accumulates here and creates like a big mess of stuff. That being said, this is something I already noticed in the ATD1. Not having some zippers here will not help keeping stuff in place. So if there is some, let's say, USB drive in this top and you are running, then this will just slide out and drop to the bottom and create a mess at the bottom anyways. So I would have wished that they changed this a little bit and have something like a zipper to close up these slots. You have a couple of pen slot areas. I love how this is, but I wish they would have improved upon that a little bit better. There is like this stopping point. So if you put like a book in here, then it will stop on this part, but a zipper would have been better. Speaking of zippers, these are all really beefy YKK zippers, really strong. So now let's go into the inside. Opening up the fitlock V-buckle. These are, in my humble opinion, the best fitlocks. You can actually check out my rant video about fitlocks in the description below. So you can open this up and have this roll top into the main compartment, which is great. That gives you a little bit more of flexibility in what you can carry around. That's what I loved about the ATD1. Rolled up was fairly compact for everyday carry, but if I would have gone to the supermarket to buy some groceries, the Rolltop expandability helped a lot. So having some form of expandability in this bag as well is great. It feels a little bit different than on the other version, but I like that it is, the bag overall is a little bit more compact. Oh, I've totally forgot. Here are water bottle slots. pockets left and right, which to me, I never use water bottle slots, but these are actually great if you are wearing gloves while motorcycling. You can quickly just drop them into those slots. And just like the ATD1, you have the Rolltop opening, but also a clamshell opening. So you have this clamshell opening, and yeah, it's basically just a smaller version of the ATD1, which I really like, because for some people the ATD1 might have been a little bit big. You have two slots, one maybe for a notebook or a tablet, and then a laptop slot. Not sure how big this is, but I would assume this is for a 15-inch laptop, but also maybe for a hydration pack, because there is a loop here, maybe just to attach keys. You have a zippered compartment. No, excuse me. This is a zippered compartment, but here you can find the frame sheet, which keeps the rigidity of the back panel. But I guess you could drop in some papers, but it is a little bit difficult to get inside. And if there's something at the bottom, this will get difficult. But yeah, maybe for some notes, you can put them in here. Some more lashing points here and here. Not sure what they are for. Maybe there is some accessories to expand the organization in this bag. And then a huge, simple main compartment that doesn't get into your way with too many organization. One thing to really note about the ATD1, which will probably be the same with the ATD2, which is this one. What happened to me was when I was grocery shopping, I didn't close the bag properly, or I did close it properly. So if you have the bag, the zipper's like this, for instance, because the zipper is on the back or close to your back, all of the weight, whatever is loaded in here in the main compartment, if you're walking or running, all of the weight will put some force onto the zippers. The zippers are strong enough, but if you close the bag in such a way that, let me check if I can simulate it in here. These are very stiff, so I assume this won't happen that easily. But what happened to me with the ATD1 is I loaded it up with, I think it was milk, 2 liters of milk, some eggs and stuff like that, regular groceries, and the bag got pretty heavy. And I was running and the bag kinda, yeah, you see this? I mean, I'm pulling on that really heavily, and I assume this won't happen again, but just to be aware that this happened to me in the ATD1. The weight is on this side. So when this is on your back and you're running and the zippers are for some reason in the wrong position, this bag will wiggle open. And this actually happened to me in the ATD1, which you can see in the review. So what I did and what I always recommend is to have the zippers at the bottom of the bag. So then this won't happen. The bag won't wiggle itself open. And now that I see it, it has a pretty trapezoid shape. Because of this trapezoid shape, the bag probably won't stand up on its own and just fall to that side. So yeah, overall, I really like this bag from first impressions. I love the ATD1, and having a smaller version of that bag is amazing. The build quality, just like in the ATD1, is amazing. That being said, I kind of wish these were G-hooks. It's okay, but yeah, as mentioned, they can get a little bit fiddly or just detach by themselves. I wish there would have been a different option. The waist belt being in this position, being outside of the shoulder strap, and therefore not being able to be stored properly away, might be an issue for some. For me, it would be just like, yeah, I will detach this and then I don't have to deal with that anymore. And yeah, overall, I like it. Simple. Oh yeah, I forgot. In the front part, I would have loved that the slots had zippers. One maybe more quick access compartment would have been great, like a small quick access compartment here somewhere at the top. But other than that, I really like the design and the features of this bag. I'm looking forward to test this bag, to be honest. So what do you think about this Attitude Supply ATD2? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, so this was the first impressions of the Attitude Supply ATD2. I think this bag definitely has some improvements over the ATD1, albeit very minor. Overall, the bag has the similar design language, the similar materials as far as I can tell, and the build quality is great, just like the ATD1. So in other words, if the ATD1 is too big for you, the ATD2 is a good alternative for a smaller form factor for everyday carry use. So for now, I would say from first impressions, I really like the Attitude Supply ATD2. And if you're looking for a smaller but expandable roll top / clamshell opening backpack, then definitely check out the Attitude Supply ATD2. And yeah, if you have any questions, comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And please feel free to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell icon so you won't miss next videos. Also check out my Instagram at YouKnowTheBow. Stay safe and healthy everyone, and I see you in the next videos. Thank you very much.